3-year pause, student loan payments start back up in October, but today interest started accruing. Cale Chapman spoke with financial aid staff at Newman University about what borrowers need to know as they prepare for payments to restart.
On Newman's campus in Wichita today, some students are worried about how they're going to make their upcoming payments and what interest rates would look like once they start paying.
Because once we get out of school, before we can even start getting into our jobs, we're already going to have all of this that we're just expected to pay back.
Newman University senior Morgan Rink is preparing for payments she will have to start making on her student loans.
I definitely have to cut down on my budget, what I spend. I have to we have to buy in bulk. Sometimes I have to pick up more extra shifts at work.
To help people ease into making payments, students and graduates will get a year-long grace period. There's no need to apply for the grace period. If your loans were eligible for the payment pause, you are eligible for the grace period. If borrowers decide to start paying loans off but miss a payment during the grace period, they will not be reported to credit agencies. But they need to be aware if payments are not made, interest will continue to accrue on the outstanding balance. Newman Associate Economics Professor Dr. Larry Straub says borrowers should take advantage of the grace period to help build their budget.
Where people can kind of get their budgets back somewhat to a balanced rate again to factor these loans in.
Another new program for borrowers to consider is the Save Repayment Plan. Newman Financial Aid Director Myra Fahnenstiel says this new payment option could make a difference for some borrowers.
10% of your discretionary income would be your payment. What your income is, the difference between that and what 150% of poverty level would be.
For some people, this would mean they have a zero payment. Borrowers need to apply for this plan and can do so at studentaid.gov. In Wichita, Cale Chapman, 12 News. More information about the grace period and to apply for the Save Repayment Plan, you can visit studentaid.gov. A link to that site is on our KWCH website and app.